So Schoology has a ton of different symbols and icons. If you click Add Materials, this is where you'll see the icons for these different materials that you can add. So the media album will always have those three pictures together. Um, that test and quiz will always have that green with the pencil, the puzzle piece. But let me show you some other options that most things in Schoology have. So this box is pretty similar for most things in Schoology as far as folders and assignments and things. You'll always see your font options over here. It's like bold, italic, underline, indent, things like that. But let me go over some of these other icons. If I wanted to link something, it's like maybe I wanted to say click here and I wanted to send them to a link. If I highlight that and I click this chain link, I can put the URL right there. So, I mean, typically you wouldn't link google.com, you would take the actual URL, which is up here. And you'll notice that it's blue. So that means that the kids can actually click on it and it will take them in a new tab to Google or whatever link you put in. This little box with an arrow is insert content. So you can add an image, again, a link, symbol if you want to insert like math fractions or any math icons, that's super helpful. You can also insert something from your Google Drive. Tables are helpful when you're formatting different things that you want students to do in multiple steps. So I could do one, and maybe I want them to watch the YouTube video. And then maybe two, I want them to fill out the Google Doc and respond. Now, maybe I wanted to hyperlink this video. I would just open up my YouTube. Let's see, I'm just going to pick a random one. So I would copy this URL. Oops. I'm going to copy this URL. If you are doing YouTube, make sure you hit approve right here. It'll be blue. If it says remove, then that's what it should say. Then you're good. So I have that highlighted because that's what I want hyperlinked. I'm going to click that link, paste. So now it's blue, so that'll take them to the YouTube video. And then I want them to fill out that doc. Putting it in a table just makes it nice and neat so they know first I have to do this, then I have to do this. It just breaks it down a little bit. And then you have spell check. And all of these things you'll notice if I hover over them, it will tell me what they do. You could change the text, change the size of the text. And I'm going to show you how to insert an image. So maybe instead of one, maybe I wanted like an eye because they're watching something. So I'm just going to go onto Google, and I have a few different ways that I could do this. I'm just going to copy and paste. So maybe I want this one. I'm going to right click, copy image, go back to Schoology, and click paste. So now you notice that's kind of big. So I can either just drag these corners, or I can click this and change the dimensions. But I think that's actually fine. Another way that I can insert an image is I can find it on Google. Let's see, fill out the Google Doc. So maybe I do a pencil because they're writing something. If I click on that and I save it to my desktop, I'm just going to title it pencil. Now when I go to Schoology, I can click that insert content and image, attach file, and then I'm going to find where I saved it. So I'm on my desktop. And if I do it this way, you'll notice it's huge. Always drag from the corners. And then I'll just make it that big. So just tables are just kind of an easy way to set up assignments. File, I can insert a file from my computer. Link again. Resource, which could either be your Google Drive or your resources from up here. This little microphone, you can record directions to your students, or you can do a video with directions. So this one is super nice. Students also see this microphone when they're inserting assignments. So if you wanted to have your students read to you, or maybe for the littles, they can't really write as much, you can have them answer with words or show a picture to the camera, something like that. I'm skipping over this external tool. I've played with it a lot and there's not a whole lot it can do, so I'm just gonna skip that. Google Drive assignment. This is where you would you would click on this and maybe you wanted them to fill out a Google Doc and it would force a copy for each student. Down here, these options you can individually assign to a student. If you lock it, it means you are no longer taking submissions for it, so students will not be able to submit anything. Submissions enabled means you're currently taking submissions. Published to students. So anytime that's green, students can see it. If it's gray or white, then students cannot see it. Comments enabled. You could do this if you want students to maybe ask a question if they're confused right on the assignment or the discussion board or whatever it is that you're creating. So if I unclick that, now you'll notice it's gray, and when I hover over it, it says comments disabled. So now they can't comment. And then copy to courses. We won't really be using this, but if you're admins in your grade level and you see something you like, you could copy that over to a different course.